What's up, you guys? It's your girl Didi, and I'm back again with another freaking video. Hey guys, I know I've been gone a long time. It's been like over a month since I posted. Boo! Tomato. Oh my god, I'm sorry, y'all. But I want to inform you guys that I will never film a video if I'm not, mentally not feeling creative. Because I feel like that's fake, and that's the last thing I want to do on here is be fake. So anytime I'm filming a video, I'm ready for it. I'm excited, and I want to do this thing. So y'all, as you can see by the title of the video, honestly, I don't even know what I'm gonna title it. Also, I got my hair done. I feel cute, so I was like, you know what, let's film. I feel good, I feel cute. And honestly, I also told myself that, I'm not gonna get on here dolled up. Like, that's just not me. Like, I'm gonna get on here and just be comfortable. At least for me, it's like when I get dolled up and like preparing for a video, at the end of putting on the cute outfit, the makeup, the hair, I'm tired and I don't feel like filming. Like, honestly, truly, that's how I feel. This is me. Like, I just rather come on here comfortable and ready to film. So that's what we're doing. So today's video is gonna be basically a story time. I love these, y'all. Like, y'all don't understand how like fun these are, like just telling my life stories. I'm gonna take this story way back to high school. Yes, my high school years. I would say I was around 14, 15. Yeah, around 14, 15. It had to be the year like 2012, 2013. Okay. And I feel like I have a very unique situation because I went to a very small school. I went to a school that had basically just opened. It opened in 2008. So it was pretty new. It wasn't, nobody really knew about it. To this day, when I tell people what school I went to, they're like, what school is that? Like, what is that? Also, before I start, y'all, look at my nails. Okay. I tried to do an Easter theme, but they're really not pastel colors. I wanted them to be more pastel-like. But, I mean, she tried. I think they're cute. I just wanted to show y'all that. Okay, anyway, back to the story. My graduating class was 15 kids.
Damn!
My graduating class was literally 15 kids, and there were only 2 girls in that graduating class, including me, okay? So that just gives you a whole dynamic of how this school was. Not to mention, the whole school didn't really have any, like, people of color at all. I would say out of the whole school, we probably had 5 people of color. Yeah, we really did. It was a very new school. It was like an alternative school. So, yeah, and usually alternative schools are smaller in general, but this one was a very small school. Out of the whole school, there was probably 3 black girls and maybe 2 or 3 black boys in the school. So yeah, very scarce. Okay, not a lot of diversity, not a lot of girls in the school. And as far as like the girls, being in a school with barely any black students in the school, I felt like I had to assimilate a lot. Like, I used to wear a lot of straight weave. a lot of straight weave, especially in the beginning. The last 2 years of high school, I started wearing braids, and I never really wore my natural hair for real. And if I did, I straightened it. But that's a whole story in itself. Just like any other school, we had cliques. We didn't have as big of a group of cliques, but we had cliques. We had the popular kids, we had the class clowns, we had the artistic group of kids, we had the anime kids, and then we had like the nerds and stuff. Like friends that were popular, I had friends that were artsy, like my girl Annie. All the names said in this video are not like their actual name. I use all fake names because, you know, I just don't want people's business out there, and I don't want people having a problem if their name was said. So yeah, let me give you guys like the characters and the people that were in this story. So there's Annie, that's my girl. Annie, she was more of the artistic girl. She was in my grade, so we had a lot of classes together. But then she ended up leaving, and I was like, girl, so you just gonna leave me here high and dry to fend for myself? Because Mila, my other friend, and she was also a black girl that was in the school. She was 2 grades higher than me, and she was more of the popular kids, but also like the class clown. And yeah, that was really my group. Like, that was my group: Annie, Mila, and me. Here's the main girl that's gonna be very much in this story. We're gonna call her, what we gonna call her? We're gonna call her Anime Girl, okay? Because she was very much like into anime. Like, she would wear the short skirts, like the crop top. She wouldn't wear crop tops, but you know, where, because they didn't allow that, but you know, shirts where it kind of shows your stomach a little bit. She knew what she was doing. She would wear those. She would wear like little pigtails, like just very like cutesy, like anime schoolgirl vibes, like just all of that. And then we're gonna call, what we're gonna call this dude? We're gonna call him Player. Okay, so this guy really thought he was the shit. Like, he thought he ruled the school. He walked around like he owned the halls.
Shut the fuck up. You thought you ate that?
He was always trying to get at, oh, let me reverse back a little bit. So Anime Girl, right? Everybody, every boy in this school wanted Anime Girl. I swear, everybody was so thirsty for this girl. And I remember, and no shade, I have no hatred toward this girl or anything. I'm just bringing myself back to when I was young and stuff, and I was wanting that male attention. Like, I wanted a boyfriend, and everybody wanted this girl, this anime girl, because we already didn't have a lot of females in the school. So us being in school was like fresh meat. It was like, you know, all the boys wanted us basically, but they couldn't get none. Okay, period. But and she would just, no shade, I'm trying not to be shady, I swear to God, but it was just like, it was just super annoying. Like, she would wear these, you know the tights with the holes in it. She would wear that with skirts, and I'm like, if I walked into school with short shorts, I remember one day Mila wore some really short booty shorts. They weren't even booty shorts, but because she was very thick, this was a very thick girl. Like, she wasn't like fat or anything, but she was just very thick. And I remember one of the teachers told her she couldn't wear those. And I'm like, but you have Anime Girl over here walking around in a skirt and short shorts, and because she's skinny, like, this girl was literally a stick. No shade.
And
But she didn't have like much of a frame. Like, she had a cute little like semi-hourglass figure, but she was very, very thin, like no meat on her whatsoever. What is it? And because I would dress cute in high school. I just want y'all to know that. Like, I very much had like good style in high school. And so, you know, as a kid, as a teenage girl, I mean, that kind of like wore on my mental a little bit, because I'm like, dang, am I just not cute? Am I not pretty enough or whatever? But in reality, and the truth was, and this is the truth, like, they didn't like chocolate. Like, that's it. Like, because I know I look good. Like, me and my crew always look good. So anyway, where does Player come into play? Player really, really was going after Anime Girl from the jump. But then you had this other boy, and we're gonna call him Red Rover. And I kind of want to say, I would just say this: he had red hair, and that's why I'm gonna call him Red Rover. So Red Rover and Player basically were battling for this girl, okay, along with other boys that didn't even have a chance with her. But everybody wanted Anime Girl, but the main people who were up for the running basically was Player and Red Rover. At first, Red Rover and Player were friends. Like, they would hang out, always see them like in the hallways together and all that. So basically when they both found interest in Anime Girl, that all changed and they started like basically just being real shady towards one another and, you know, walking past each other, mean mugging each other in the hallway and shit. But the thing is, Player was very, very, very persistent. Like, and so was Red Rover too, but in a different way. Because Red Rover, he was like a guitar player. He was a musician. Like, he was in like the music club that we had. But Player, he didn't really have any like skills for real except playing. Like, his skill was finessing, manipulating, and that was his skill. He somehow, some way got this girl's heart. I remember Player being all up on Anime Girl, and I'm thinking, are they together? Obviously they are, but then I would get word that they're not even together, so I was confused. So I would ride the bus with Player, okay? At first, like, I remember in 9th grade, I started there in 8th grade because it was like a middle / high school. I started there in 8th grade. And I remember 8th grade, he really didn't pay me no mind. And yeah, and he wasn't with Anime Girl. And then in 9th grade, this is the time where he was messing with Anime Girl. So I'm thinking he don't see me, like he don't have no interest in me, right? So one day on the bus, like he just is walking down the hallway. I used to sit like in the middle of the bus, and he always sat in the back of the bus. But this particular day, he, instead of going all the way back to the bus, he sits on the row across from me. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. But I just continued, like, at the time I didn't have a phone. So I had my little, MP3 player, and I was just like, you know, on it, like, listen to my music. And yeah, I just see him out the corner of my eye sitting there. And every now and then I would catch him looking at me. And I'm like, okay, like, I'm confused. Like, I thought this guy was with Anime Girl, but then everybody else is telling me that he's not. And then the next day, he comes, instead of going back, I'm thinking he's gonna walk past me and go to the back of the bus. He sits right next to me. And then he says, hey, didn't we go to elementary school together? Cause I actually went to the same elementary school as this guy. Even there, he was very much a player. Like, I remember he would be talking about, I would sit at the front of the bus, and he would be talking about real perverted stuff, like making sure everybody on the bus could hear. And I'm like, I remember he would look at me every now and then. He would sit at the front of the bus because I think he was told like he had to sit at the front because he was doing too much in the back, so they had him sitting at the front. Yeah, I remember him saying like a lot of like sexual stuff, like basically trying to let everybody know that he's experienced. And I remember overhearing and looking at him crazy, and him looking at me like with this really weird seductive look. Like, I remember that going to the school, like every now and then I'd be like, oh yeah, I went to school with him. But when he sat next to me and asked me, I was like, oh, you actually remember me? Like, yeah, didn't we go to so-and-so together? And I was like, yeah, the school where we had to wear uniforms. He's like, yeah, you've grown a lot. And then he looks me up and down. Girl, I just about like, and me being so timid and shy, I was like very flattered. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, so like, whose class are you taking? We just started talking about school and like whose class we took and what classes and what and whatever. So every day after that, he would sit by me and we would just talk about stuff. And that happened for a good like week. He just sat by me and we would talk. And then the following week, stuff started to get weird, okay? Like, he would go and sit by me, and then he started like touching me, not in like any weird way, but he would be like, put his hand over my shoulder and just be like, yeah, like, you are so pretty. He would be like, you know, like, me hanging with you like this past week, like, it's really shown me like who you are. I think I'm liking you. Like, I think I'm liking you. And I'm like, huh? Like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, but I just saw you flirting with Anime Girl in the hallway, like, the other day. Like, what are you talking about? And mind you, you know what the crazy thing? Red Rover used to be on this bus, too. like periodically. He wouldn't be on this bus all the time, but every so often he would be on there. And sometimes Player would still sit by me even while Red Rover was on the bus. And Red Rover clearly knows that. And at this time I was oblivious. I didn't know because I wasn't too much in the drama. At this time, apparently Player was with Anime Girl, and Red Rover was still trying to get Anime Girl back. Not even back, just get her. So Red Rover would see Player sitting by me, talking to me, and in his mind, he's probably like, wow, this dude. And I'm pretty sure he would go and tell Anime Girl like what he was doing. And I guess she was dumb in love. I don't know. He had put a spell on her and she didn't care. It's not that she didn't care, but it's like she still stayed with him for whatever reason. But then it started to get really, really weird. I remember one day, I had went on the bus and sat in my regular spot, and he sat by me and he started putting his hand on my thighs, and I'm like, what is going on? Just start rubbing my thigh. I don't want to get too much into detail, but yeah, this boy was very much known for like SAing girls, like and just doing a lot of things that he shouldn't have been doing, to the point where in a later story I'll probably tell you guys, like, he eventually got in trouble for it, because I wasn't the only girl he was doing this to, because hence his main Player. I really should have called him Creep, but yeah, actually started liking this boy. Like, he was spending so much time with me, like he knew what he was doing. Like, he was spending so much time with me, like all the time, that like, and I had never gotten like male attention like this before. So yeah, like I was feeling him back, and I really, really started liking him until so as I told you guys before, like Red Rover had been seeing everything that was going on, but it's like anytime Red Rover got on the bus, because he was like the last pickup before we went to school, Player would get a little bit more distant from me and act like he's just talking to me, when he wasn't just like me and like had his arm around me a second ago. So yeah, but I think somehow, some way, like Anime Girl found out, and I remember me and Anime Girl had this real animosity that we never spoke about, like, ever. I wanted to mention that when I did finally find out that Player was actually with Anime Girl, I backed off because I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be in that, and I wouldn't want that done to me. So word got back to Anime Girl, and at first I was told by somebody that they had seen her like crying like in the bathroom or something, and she was all torn up. She had contemplated leaving Player, but she didn't really want to because she did like him, but at the same time she didn't want to keep getting played. So basically, eventually she just left him. Like, she just left him and went to who? Red Rover.
Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
And this, I remember when this happened, because Player had still been talking to me, still been like in my face entertaining me, whatever have you, manipulating me. He was like, oh, I see us being together, you know, I just, you know, it's just like me and Anime Girl, it's real complicated right now. And I remember I would ask him all the time, are you guys together? And he'd be like, no, we're not together. Like, I know she may say that, but we're not together. And but we're just complicated. Like, you know, I do like her, but she likes me more than I like her, when in reality he liked her more than she liked him. But that's neither here nor there. So basically, he was basically lying in my head, manipulating me, and my dumb ass was just eating it up like like it was some candy or something. I was believing every lie, and yeah, it was what it was. So when Anime Girl dropped Player, he was so upset. I remember he stopped talking to me. Like, I remember it was the weirdest thing. When Anime Girl broke up with him, he stopped talking to me altogether. he started sitting in the back with his friends. Instead of seeing Player and Anime Girl, I was seeing Red Rover and Anime Girl together all the time in the hallway. And honestly, they looked happy. Like, I remember Anime Girl when she was with Player, like, she looked happy, but she also always looked uncomfortable. Like, almost like she didn't really want to be with him. I remember they almost got in a fight in the hallway, y'all. Because I remember I was looking back, I glanced back and I just saw him sitting on his, in the back seat on his phone, like, head down, wasn't talking to anybody. And when we got off the bus and we got inside, you know, school went as usual. And then during, like, you know, passing time in the hallway, as I'm turning the corner to go to my locker, I see them two basically yelling at each other. I was a little farther away, so I couldn't really hear what was going on, but I just remember him, like, Player bucking up like he was about to hit Red Rover or something.
I totally forgot to add this, y'all. So me being the observer I was, you know, I had to get a little closer. So when I got closer, I overheard players saying, yeah, like, that was my girl, you stole my girl, this and that. And he was getting all in his face. And I remember Red Rover, like, them getting basically eye to eye, like, it was bad. Like, they were about to hit each other, dead ass. And then I remember Red Rover saying, she doesn't want you anymore. She doesn't want you. Like, all you do is play around. Like, you don't know how to be loyal, this and that. And which was, he didn't say one lie. So, but yeah, it was a mess. It was a lot going on, y'all.
I remember him bucking up like he was about to hit Red Rover or something. And yeah, they was really about to fight, but I remember the teacher coming in between them and stopping the whole thing. We had more teachers than students, so there was always a teacher in the hallway, so you really couldn't get away with too much. So yeah, there was a teacher very quickly, like, broke that up. And yeah, after that, Anime Girl ended up dumping Red Rover even. Like, I guess she was tired of it because they were still fighting, and she just said F it. And she ended up moving schools. Like, I think it was too much for her. Like, everybody was after her. Everybody was, like, thirsting after her, and she was just tired of it, I guess. Damn, that's a nice problem to have. Yeah, so that's pretty much the story, y'all. Like, after that, me and Player didn't really speak. He ended up actually doing the same thing that he did to me to another girl that I went to school with, because I would see him talking to her when they got off the bus.
Now, the reason why I didn't see any of this happen on the bus is because this is the point in time when I was transferred off of this bus, because he kept doing things that he wasn't supposed to multiple girls on this bus.
And I was like, oh, okay. And I ended up talking to her, and she was like, yeah, he's been, like, talking to me, you know, he's been, like, talking sexually to me and, like, trying to get me to, like, come over his house and stuff. And I'm like, dang, like, he did the same thing to me. So basically, Player wasn't shit. And Anime Girl just said, I'm out of here. And that's really the end of the story, y'all. Thanks again, you guys, for listening to my story time. And I will have way more to come, because I have a lot of stories to tell you guys. Like, I have been through some crazy shit, y'all. But thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video soon. Bye.